Om Shanti. In the Murli today, there is a song, do not forget the days of the childhood. Bachpan ke din bhula na dena. So, most of you are in your childhood right now because you've just come to Baba. And these are the best days of your life with Baba. Now, I want to ask you one question, which is, do you recognize that the one you are listening to every day, the source of the knowledge you're getting is God Himself? How many of you recognize it 100%? Okay. Thank you. And the second question is, do you have faith that if you really imbibe all the knowledge that Baba is giving you, you will go to heaven practically? Yes, so the world is going to become heaven and you're going there, right? Now, I want to ask you, what is your experience? What is it that you have felt or understood or experienced, which has brought you to this place where you realize that this is God, and if I do as He says, I am going to heaven? So, would you like to share something? So, what is it that Baba has made you experience? Because Baba, what I have understood from this journey is Baba touches every child and uniquely, differently. And every child has a lot of experiences, or the understanding or how it seeps into you is very different for every child. And so then maybe it's giving some clarity to life. So some people get connected with the Gyan, yes? So Gyan makes you recognize that this is Baba. Now, what after you recognize this is God? So that is the big question. So one thing is recognizing this is Baba, and recognizing that belonging to Baba means going to heaven. Yes? But what after you recognize this is God? Yes? Do you again have the same relationship with Baba that you had earlier? Because earlier we had a relationship with Baba which was a very distant one. Yes? And then Baba was not part of my life. So Baba was just, you gave one corner to Baba at home. That also some people did. So, some little corner, some tiny, or, some space in the wall that you just put his picture, and then and you didn't even know the picture of Baba. So any deity's picture we put, and then we remembered always the Supreme Soul, but then we didn't know what he looks like or what we look like. So we gave a little part of the corner of a wall to him, and then we gave him 10 minutes of our time. Yes, so 10 minutes for you. So we will chant those prayers in those 10 minutes or half an hour maximum. So don't interfere in our life after that, because that is allotted to you. You only deserve that much. Now, what about now that we recognize this is God? And this is a very important question, because once when when I was very, in the initial years when I was giving these classes and courses, at that time there was a Mata who used to come, and every day she would tell me, Didi, Baba, why does Baba not give me a sakshatkar? I want a sakshatkar. So the Baba should give me a sakshatkar. So I said, okay, he is your Baba. You can ask for anything. Okay, that's not my department, so I will not intervene in your relationship with Baba. But let me ask you one thing as your nimit. What if tomorrow you had a sakshatkar? Then, so she said, I will have full faith that this is God. So I said, okay, you will have full faith that this is God. What after that? Will you surrender to Baba? Will you surrender to Baba completely? So then she got scared. Then I said, why should Baba waste a sakshatkar on you if you're not even going to surrender after he gives you what you want? So, do you understand that what is the point in knowing Baba if you still don't understand that now you have to totally belong to him? If he is God and you are the child, then after recognition of Baba, nothing else should matter. Yes, so if I am a soul, I have recognized I am a soul, and I have recognized this is God, this is who I actually belong to, then no one and nothing in the world should matter after that. And then my heart, my life, everything should belong to that one. And because Baba has instructed me to stay in the family and do whatever, settle the karmic accounts, so I will do that. But even that is because Baba has instructed me to. So recognition of Baba means surrender to Baba. And who doesn't surrender to the one who gives you the legacy of heaven? So Baba says, A, you recognize who I am. B, you recognize what I give you, and still you don't surrender. And what is surrender? Surrender is my thought, word, and act is totally in alignment with Baba's directions. There is nothing else guiding my thought, word, and action. So, recognition of God, recognition that this is Baba, this is my father, this is my parent, means you totally become, your thought, word, and action follows his direction. And Baba says, such children who belong to me, who recognize me and belong to me, will go to heaven. Yes. And I will tell you, there is a very, there is Mitali Ben in the center, and I asked her once, so how did you get surrendered and what made you surrender to Baba? So she gave me a very interesting explanation of for her surrender. And I will share that with you. She told me that when I undertook the course, I wanted something to happen. There was some work or something that I was looking forward to its completion. And then I told Baba, if this happens, then you are God. She was very young, so she was some 16 years or 14 years of age. And then she said, if this happens, then you are God. I will accept you as God. And that happened. So I came to know this is God. So I surrendered. So, so it is as simple as that. It is not complicated at all. Yes. And then if you look at any relationship, in a relationship, there is a time when you build your trust. So you meet somebody, you don't know who they are, you don't know what they are capable of, or you don't know their intentions. And then there is a trust that is built. Yes. And after that trust is built, if you keep again, you keep asking again, give me some more proof, some more proof, then that person is going to abandon you. There is a so there is a law. This is kind of a law which you have to understand. There is a certain time where you seek proofs and get proofs. There is a certain time for faith building, trust building. And when that period is over, then you have to show in your action that you have understood that you are in a relationship. Yes. Now, let's take parents and children. So when children are young, parents give their unconditional and relentless support to them. They belong to them. And when the child grows up, he knows this is my parent, so as to behave like a child. If he knows this is my parent and he knows that from the sustenance he has received as a child, so after that sustenance, he cannot ask the parent to keep proving that I am your parent and I care and I love. Now he has to also start behaving like a child. And if the child doesn't behave like a child, even after the sustenance that the parent gives, then what happens is slowly, gradually, that relationship will fail. Yes. And if it was not so, then people wouldn't tell you that माँ बाप की दुआएं लो, because माँ बाप की दुआएं also is not taken for granted. You only get it when you behave like a child. Yes. Now Baba says, you have recognized I am your parent, teacher, Satguru, beloved, yes, surgeon, everything, friend. Now you better behave like a child, a good student. You behave like a good patient who has to listen to the medicine that God, the doctor, is giving. And if you don't do that, then this relationship cannot continue. So a relationship is always two-sided. Let's understand this. It might start from one person taking the initiative, but it cannot go on in that manner. So, even if there is one person who takes the proposal to the second person that please marry me, and if that person keeps telling all his life that you came to me, I didn't come to you, and so you have to listen to me, I won't listen to you, and you have to do as I say, and I don't have to do as you say, then that relationship cannot go on. So there is a certain time we take to enter a relationship, build our faith in a relationship, and Baba does that for us. Yes, Baba gives us subtle, gross, every kind of experience. Every kind of experience Baba gives us. if you notice, Baba gives you very gross experiences also. Not only the gyan and the pyar and the shakti, but Baba gives you very gross experiences. I will tell you one very gross experience that I had in the early days. And, it was my birthday. And then I was very interested that somebody should celebrate my birthday, but nobody remembered my birthday. So everybody had given up on me because I had become a BK, and they thought that why do BKs have to have, anything, any celebration? But that was in my heart. And then I waited from morning till evening that somebody should come and celebrate my birthday. And then in the evening, I was very disappointed, more with Baba, because it was because of Baba that nobody celebrated my birthday. So I went to Baba and I just, poured my heart out that I belong to you. And now you see, this is happening to me. And I'm so interested that somebody should celebrate my birthday and nobody is even remembering it. And then after an hour, there was this sister who brought a flower vase and very beautiful flowers. And so when I saw her, I thought she remembered my birthday. So I was very happy. And then I told her, so you remembered my birthday? So she said, no, Didi, is it your birthday? I don't know it's your birthday. So I said, then why did you get these flowers for me? So she said, Didi, I don't know what happened to me. I was crossing this flower shop and it suddenly occurred to me, and it was such a intense calling that I should get some flowers for Baba. And then I had this thought that Baba's house doesn't have a flower vase, so I should get a vase also, so that the flowers can be put in that vase. So I bought both these things, and this was kind of a calling. So now I understand why Baba sent these flowers. So, and I have many such silly and gross experiences also, but I tell you, they mattered at that time. They were very important at that time. I might laugh at them now, but they mattered at that time. And I really felt that Baba physically cares for me also. It's not just the subtle palna that I'm getting, but he physically cares for me. And I have felt these things n number of times. And Baba says that I make you recognize me, in whatever way. If I make you recognize me in the ways you want to recognize me, but after that, you have to belong to me if you want this relationship to be sustainable. Otherwise, you cannot ask Baba to keep proving all your life that I am God. So Baba says, I'm not here to give you temporary happiness. I'm here to make you capable of belonging to a world of permanent happiness. 21 births of all attainments. That's what I want to give you. But for that, you have to make an effort. You cannot go there just like that without investing your heart and your time and your money and everything. You can't go there because that's the exchange offer. Yes, so you cannot keep remembering bodily beings and go to that world called heaven. So Baba says, you have to make a certain effort, and after you recognize it, this is me and I'm taking you to heaven, you surrender your life and make that effort. And that is what will make you eligible for that inheritance. Yes, so when Baba says wake up at 4, you have to wake up at 4. When Baba says remember me all day, you have to do that. When Baba says talk sweetly, you have to do that. When Baba says let go, you have to do it. When Baba says you have to do seva, you do it. then Baba says, you will take the inheritance from me. So when you have the nischay, the faith that this is Baba and he is giving you the inheritance of heaven, then in your actions you should show that surrender and that obedience to Baba. Yes, so let's listen to today's Murli. Baba says, sweet children, in order to experience super sensuous joy. Now, this is a time when sensuous joy is no more sustainable. And I hope that is clear from the drama. Yes, so even if you have every resource at your disposal, you cannot go on a trip. Or at least you cannot go on a trip and enjoy because your mind will be full of fear, and there'll be other things that will scare you from time to time. So Baba says, in order to experience super sensuous joy. And what is super sensuous joy? A joy which comes from knowing who you are and who you belong to. A joy that doesn't come from what you do and what you have. So until now, we knew of only one kind of joy, which came from what I do and what I have. But now we are acquainted with this super sensuous joy, which comes from knowing who you are and who you belong to. And what I have understood in this journey is, knowing is a very deep source of joy. Yes, so people have even experienced joy in searching. So there is great joy in finding, of course. Yes, so people experience joy in searching also. And now we have the joy of finding the treasure within me and the treasure that Baba is giving me. So that's a very big source of joy. Yes, and have you ever felt that sometimes you are thinking about some point of knowledge and you realize something and then you smile? And then somebody around you is not able to understand what is making you smile in these dry times when everything is going wrong. So that is super sensuous joy. The joy of knowing your father, the joy of knowing that Baba is with you, the joy of knowing who you are is a very big joy. This is a great state of joy. So Baba says, this is super sensuous joy. This doesn't depend on the senses. It doesn't depend on what you have eaten or it doesn't depend on what you have during the day or not. So Baba says, in order to experience super sensuous joy, constantly maintain the awareness of whose children you are. Yes. If you forget the Father, your happiness will disappear. And this happens. Yes. And one moment you are overjoyed, like you are in the class and you are happy. And then if you forget the Father, you will again go back to being that dry person. But if you remember the Father all through the day, you can be in a state of bliss. Now the question is, which children have the permanent happiness of having found the Father? Now, the permanent happiness, how do you sustain this happiness? So, we get this happiness when we are in the class or reading the Murli or in meditation. But then how do you make this a continuous thing, this happiness of having found the Father? So Baba says, the children who forge all relationships with the Father, those who make effort to stay in remembrance of the one Father, and who don't remember any bodily beings, have permanent happiness. So if you have realized that you belong to this one Baba, and just like I said earlier, nothing else matters. So, this one Baba is your universe, and it is only this one who matters. There are bodily beings around you, but you are not thinking about them. Because, the moment you start thinking about a bodily being, you start getting upset. This is the issue. So you think about any bodily being, you start getting upset. So Baba says, if you have realized that only Baba matters, this is my universe, then you will always be in a state of happiness. Yes. And Baba says, if there is remembrance of bodily beings, you will have to cry a great deal. And those who are to become the masters of the world never cry. So there are two kinds of crying, One is crying when your face and your body, they are in that expression of crying. Another is crying within, which is complaint and criticism and that sorrowful feeling. So Baba says, if you remember bodily beings, you will cry, whether externally or internally. And those who are to become the masters of the world cannot cry. Just imagine you go to a temple and the deity is crying, or the deity looks upset. Can you even imagine a deity being upset or a deity crying? That's not possible. So Baba says, you have to change this sanskar of getting upset and crying. So anybody who sees you should know that for several years they have never seen anything but you smile. That's a deity. And how can you always smile? Only when you are in remembrance of that one Father. And you have understood that you have all relationships with only that one. And no one else matters. Yes, so then nobody has the capacity to upset you. And a deity cannot be upset. Get this written. So if you have that face where sometimes you are sullen and sometimes you are smiling, that's not a deity face. Okay, so you cannot cry and be upset if you want to be a deity. So today's challenge you have understood? So all day, no getting upset and no crying. Yes, so anybody who sees you always sees your face like a deity face. And only yesterday there was somebody who sent me this video, and in that video there were there are the pictures of the idols of deities in most temples, the big temples. And in those pictures, the deities are smiling, and that smile is so heavenly that it makes you smile. So you've seen those deity pictures and those idols, and they are made in such a manner that when you look at those pictures, you smile from the heart. And Baba says, your face should be like that. And how do you get that face? That's the face which is the embodiment of purity and pure love and innocence and everything. So full of good wishes, good feelings. And how do you become that when you don't think about bodily beings? These bodily beings are messing us up. So Baba says, when you just know that you are a soul and you only have relationship with Baba, and you have one Baba in your remembrance, then you will smile like that. Okay? Now, the blessing today is, may you become full of all powers and finish your weak sanskars with the light and might of knowledge. Now, let me read the explanation, then we'll understand. With knowledge, you become aware of your weak sanskars, and when you receive the understanding of that, those sanskar then become suppressed for a short time. Yes, now there have been two sisters who called me in the last 5 days, and one of them shared that I realized I'm a pure soul and I practiced celibacy for a month with and I felt great about myself and I felt like I'm on the top of the world. And then yesterday I had lustful thoughts and I became very miserable. And then I felt that I'm no good and I'm not a deity and I'm just some ordinary human being who cannot even deal with his mind, and I'm feeling very upset. Okay, so this is one thing that one sister shared, and another sister shared that so I always felt that Baba is with me all the time. So whether I walk, talk, move in a metro, whatever I'm doing, Baba is always with me. I always felt that. And then suddenly, from yesterday, I'm not feeling that presence. So I'm not feeling Baba is with me. I'm not having good Amrit Vela. And then I'm very upset and I feel like I have done something, or why have I lost that connect? So, why I'm sharing these two examples is because sometimes you think that this permanent experience of bliss will last permanently and very soon without making an effort. So, you will go to heaven just like that. So, there is a saying in one of the states that if you want to go to heaven, you have to die. So without dying, you can't go to heaven. And sometimes, when we come to Baba, we get the knowledge of our sanskars and we are able to change some of them very easily, for a short time. And then it makes us believe that this change is permanent. Yes, and then we take everything for granted, and then we are dancing on the top of, we're on seventh heaven, and we feel that, okay, I have made it. I don't know what dadis are doing for 100 years. I just made it in 7 days. So, but it's not supposed to work like that. So, this is what Baba is saying in the Murli today. What is Baba saying? Baba says, with knowledge, you become aware of your weak sanskars, and when you receive the understanding of that, those sanskars then become suppressed for a short time. However, in order to finish weak sanskars, you need the extra force of the light and might of knowledge. So, until and unless you meditate for 8 hours a day, these sanskars are not going to finish. They will get suppressed with the light of knowledge for some time, but they are very deep. So don't fall into this trap. So if you get a good experience, good for you, but don't forget that 63 births of sanskars are there. And you have to pay very good attention to having the light and might of knowledge. Okay? Build that, relationship with Baba, yoga, the inculcation of purity. These things are very important. For this, as well as being a master almighty authority and master knowledgeful. So remember Baba as the almighty authority, remember Baba as the knowledgeful one, and remember yourself as Baba's child. Stay in that awareness. You also have to be a checking master. So always keep checking. What is my chart of yoga? whether I'm paying attention to knowledge or whether I'm paying attention to my consciousness. Very important. Use knowledge to fill yourself with power and thereby increase your churning power. So pay attention to your churning. You will then become full of power. Yes, so don't, so Baba gives us these sweet experiences in the beginning, but don't get into that trap. That, one sister actually told me what I told you in a passing sentence, that I don't know what dadis are doing for so many years. I just understood Gyan in 1 month. Okay, so basically we get this illusion when we come to Gyan that it's very easy, but slowly, gradually, 63 births of sanskars we have, and they are all going to emerge, and we are going to need a lot of power. And I've seen Baba's children 20 years doing very well for themselves, and one ego attack and they are out. So just like in a cricket match, only the one who lasts until the end wins. So here also that holds. So you have to be very careful that you build enough power, pay very good attention to your discipline, to your connection with Baba, to your life as a Brahmin, so that this life, this discipline, these practices fill you with power and you are able to face the papers in the drama that will be coming, sooner or later. All right. Om Shanti.